It is an absolutely crazy day in the world of crypto and in turn NFTs as well. We have seen that FTX is going to be acquired by Binance. Maybe it's a hostile takeover. Maybe it isn't. We're going to dive into that in a second. Also discussing how this is impacting the crypto markets, which in turn impacting the NFT market. A lot going on. Before we jump into it, please like today's stream, subscribe to our channel, share this video, head to FLOLiO.com. Nothing we say today is financial advice. Do your own research. Dear God, Kevin, we talked on yesterday's show about the possible, issues with FTX, the contagion effect that could have. We are seeing it play out today in real time. This is absolutely crazy. Do Kwon is back. He jumped on a stream from locations unknown while on the lam. Like, this is nuts. What are your thoughts at the moment with everything that's going on?
I mean, it's a lot to take in. We talked about it yesterday. Some timing was never something I was going to get right with this, but it just happened literally last night into today, and it was fast. And for a brief period of time when they acquired them, it looked like everything was bullish again. That's what the entire sentiment was on Twitter, everywhere. Your favorite influencer was pushing Bitcoin, telling you to stack sats. And then we clearly saw that was institutional money's time to get out. So pretty much retail bought into that just to sell right out of it.
Will you go ahead and head to TradingView and let's pull up the FTT and then also ETH charts, and we can kind of look and just kind of see, and we can pinpoint, how all of this went down, because it has been the ETH chart right now. Holy shit!
It's like 10% swings.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
Let's go to FTT first.
Yeah,
right. Just sharing that, and as you can see with FTT. This is the weekly, so
that red candle.
And the week started 2 days ago, so going great so far. Let's go to the daily. Yep, same thing, same story. Volume coming in. You see the stochastic RSI going into oversold. Complete craziness right here. Let's go to the 4 hour. Maybe it gives us a little bit better look. Yeah, this is a better look. So right here, we're coming down in this 4 hour chart. Let's go to the hourly. There it is. That's the moment that we found out that FTX was being acquired by Binance. And when they acquired them, we saw a huge pump up to about $25, $24 right there. And that should have been every retail investor's time to get out. But unfortunately, they bought into this pump and they allowed all the money that had FTT, they got trapped in this dump earlier just to get out. That's why there was no support, just crashed right down after. Complete bearish engulfing candle. And we're right now broke through the resistance we talked about in the show yesterday at $10. We're heading to the next target, which is roughly around $4.66. That's just FTT.
And we talked, you mentioned the $22 mark. That was, I believe, was it Alameda who said that they would buy it all at $22? And so it hit that, it broke through that number, and then it just started falling last night. Like, you and I were messaging, like, holy shit, good call, Kevin. I'm bringing that up yesterday. Let's look at ETH, and then also I think we should pull up Binance, like their token, because that took a huge rocket ship straight up.
Let's see. Let's go to ETH real quick. My bad. I shouldn't have done that. Let's go to Sol. There we go. All right. Go to ETH over here. Yeah,
I mean, Sol is looking rough.
Sol is. I'm not going to say it's done for, but it's got a ways to go, in my opinion. So there's ETH. We were currently, as of yesterday, at around 1560. That's where it was trading. Mm-hmm. And I was actually anticipating a short squeeze, and that was only if the funding went negative, and we never saw funding go negative. Everything stayed positive, which meant that most likely we weren't going to see a push to the upside. And clearly we didn't. Let's go here. On the hourly, we see a complete same thing that FTT was saying, a bearish engulfing candle. Goes right through it. And now we're at 1378. Not great. It's honestly looks like it was climbing on the, let's see, I think it was the weekly. It might have been overbought. Yeah, weekly was going into the overbought. We can see that down there. So this is a pretty good indication that this wave up here is completely done. Now we're just moving to the downside.
Okay. Yeah.
And you want
so,
right?
Yeah, sure. Is this turning into a potential capitulation event? Like, do you think this is what was going to be needed to shake out? We talked yesterday that a lot of people who are still around are long-term believers in crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that an event like this is going to be what it takes to shake some of those people out to where we finally do hit capitulation and we can hit a market bottom and we can see a slow recovery, over time? Or do you think that we still have a lot further to go?
I thought a little bit about what we talked about yesterday, and a capitulation event would be needed to shake out people who are believers in crypto, I think. Not in the way that they'd be done completely with crypto, but I think they could get easily squeezed enough to the point where it's like, I think this is going way lower than it currently is, but, they do it a little bit too late. Late shorts always get wrecked. The price always moves up, and same thing with late longs. The market never goes in the way you want it in the short term or you think it is if you're doing it emotionally. And that could potentially be a reason people just short the market, hoping that they could buy it at 10K and it never gets there. It ends up going to 14K where there's support. So that could be one reason. Capitulation, this could be the only one that we see, could be another one. But again, this is the trend it's still following. Downside is inevitable in my opinion.
Okay. And then lastly, Binance right here, they saw, talk through this real quick.
Yeah, so I haven't actually checked Binance at all today. So currently it looks like in the daily, we saw, oh my goodness, that's a fat spike. That was probably a few hours ago. Yep. Okay, same exact thing as everything else we're seeing on the chart. This was 100% a pump for exit liquidity for institutional players. It shot up from, 326 to 398. So nice, what is that? Roughly a 21% pump. So it was a nice way to get out of the market, and it came right back down. Currently, it's around the same level, about $323. Right now, $336. So, that's Binance. I think people got really bullish on this news, and then they realized institutions were selling, whales were selling. No one wants to accumulate right now. You see Bitcoin coming back actually a little bit right now, but most coins got hurt on this one.
Most coins are getting, are down double digits over the last 24 hours right now. It is rough. Clearly, do you think that this is a pretty, the market's been manipulated a lot? Do you think that that's what we're seeing still? What are the chances that SBF and CZ were kind of in the background, pulling strings, trying to orchestrate all this? Do you think that's a possibility?
Again, the one thing that I always come back to is trust no one. You really have to understand that in this market, people always bet against you, especially when you have your money on exchanges. They can see when you're opening shorts, when you have where your stop losses are. They know where to move the price in order to get you not to make as much money and for them to pretty much take your bag from you. But when we saw, FTT going down last night, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, the major market cap coins where there's tons of liquidity were the ones that were getting hit the hardest. And coins that like Chainlink, like you and me talk about, Cardano actually took a little bit of a hit, but some other coins like VeChain or Harmony One, they weren't getting hit hard at all. They were doing just fine. So I don't know if this is true or not. In my opinion, this would make sense, but I don't know if Alameda was trying to make up for the falling price of FTT by selling assets that they had because they didn't have enough cash on hand. And if that's the case, then that's why Binance had to come in and buy them. Otherwise, that would have completely caused a rip in the market. We probably would have seen bigger capitulation than we did today. Right now, it might be just postponed. With that being said, though, if they did do that, what's to say that they didn't just put in a 125x leverage short and then just drop all that Bitcoin on the market and just make all their money back too? So that could be another form of manipulation that they could have done, separate wallet that we don't know about. Like I said, there's been currently $650 million in the past 24 hours from leverage. Yeah, so that's what I would think manipulation would have looked like in that. Both SBF and CZ will be fine regardless, but
yeah, I'm not too worried about them, Kevin. I'm worried about me.
Retail got hurt on this one. It's sad. It's I hate to see it.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about myself. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not trying to. Lord knows, I'm not trying to. I don't trade the market, but especially in moments like this, This is what you just, huh?
This is why it's good to stay in cash right now. DXY hasn't even pumped yet.
Yeah, it's ugly out there. It'll continue to be ugly. So let's talk NFTs. This is first and foremost an NFT show. Dan, what do you think the impact is going to be in the NFT market? When we saw, the closest we can look back on the Three Arrows Capital, situation and kind of look and see that, at that time, do you remember exactly when that was, Kevin? Was that in June?
I believe it was like May 15th.
You find that real quick, and I'm going to pull up some charts on FLOLiO because I want to see some of the price action of the bigger projects, because from what I can remember, we definitely saw a lot of panic in NFTs and a lot of people who were overinvested in crypto, overinvested in NFTs, were accepting like some lowball wrapped ETH offers. Like I remember seeing a ton of, that was one of the bigger volume days we'd seen in the last few months for like apes and mutants and clone X and stuff, because people were willing to accept the lowball wrapped ETH offers because they just wanted to get out and get cash. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a similar situation play out today. Maybe not to the same extent, but that wouldn't shock me at all. So I want to pull up some of these floor prices and see if it kind of aligns with that.
Let's see. I haven't looked at any statistics yet, but I feel like it's going to be much worse than before, I think. Because I feel like the sentiment around NFTs in last few months has been pretty low, or pretty bad at least. And I think that all this price action today might scare off a lot of people. They are either overinvested or I guess maybe underinvested. Maybe they have like one or two assets. They're new to NFTs and they're like, look, I don't know what's happening with crypto and NFTs and all that stuff. I don't know how it works. I see that ETH is down 10%. The floor of my NFT is down. I'm double down. I'm leaving. So maybe the statistics will prove me right or wrong. But I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, Kevin, any idea? Have you been able to find any of that data?
So it looks like on June 16th was when the liquidation began for Arrows. Luna must have been in May. And it looks like it went all the way through the 27th. That's when Voyager Digital issued the notice of default against Three Arrows for failing to make their required payments. So right around there, that's when we see the bottom. Like June 15th was the bottom of the market. So that would line up.
Yeah. So then let me pull this up real quick on FLOLiO and show, because I think that does also line up with what we were just saying there regarding, if we look right here on this is the floor price since February. Right here in June, it hit like a quick bottom, and people were panicking. They were accepting offers. They're undercutting the floor, and then it started to bounce back up. And we've seen a slow trickle down with everything else. I'm curious. I believe we saw the same thing. I want to pull up Clone X real quick because that is go. And I haven't checked any of the sales bots to see if there has been a lot of wrapped ETH offers accepted. But if we pull this up, same kind of things. Like right around here, we saw a big capitulation event with the floor price taking a dip down. And it wouldn't surprise me. Currently the floor price is on CloneX is pretty good. Same thing with like Azuki. These mid to high tier projects, that's a lot of money. Let's just be honest with it. And so, people will take those offers and just kind of run and get out of here. We can see, same thing. So every single one of these charts for NFT floor prices said exactly the same, where when Three Arrows Capital liquidation hit, we saw NFT prices drop, not surprising at all. So, to me, this is that example of like when everyone is fearful, be greedy. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and like, once again, not financial advice, drop a bunch of ETH on NFTs. But if there's stuff that you've been seeing that you have conviction in, that you've been priced out of, that you want to make a play at, toss out some wrapped ETH offers, because people like now is the time that you're going to have the most number of offers accepted on NFTs that you can either hold long-term at a great value or potentially flip in the next like week or two if you think that, cooler heads will prevail. And, I think there's a lot that can happen in the next week or two. Like we have inflation data on Thursday. We don't need to get too deep into that, but, there's still a good chance that everything will settle down eventually. And the people who are panic selling now are going to look back and regret doing that.
Yeah. And you can also, talking about putting offers on NFTs, you can also, search for people that are currently accepting offers, They can't accept offers on everything except they're like a bot or they hacked. But like see who is accepting offers. Maybe go shopping, like check out the assets, see if there's anything that you like, and throw out an offer, and maybe they'll accept it.
Yeah, for sure. It's I'm looking at it right now. There have been a decent number of wrapped ETH offers on Yuga assets in the last couple. Actually, nothing quite like the Three Arrows Capital thing. So I don't think it's quite as bad this time yet. I'll preface it with I'll say that it could definitely get worse. But I think that's kind of what we're going to see play out in the market here in the coming days. Is I think people are still, going to be panicking, and it's still not a bad idea to get some offers out there.
Yeah, and because they're pretty illiquid, we usually see them get hit a little bit later, because these liquid assets, they immediately react to the market, whereas NFTs, kind of require the people that have the NFTs to actually see the news and then react very emotionally to it, of course. But maybe we can give an update in a few days and see how it played out.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be back on Friday, and we'll have a lot more to talk about then. Anything else you guys want to cover around, Binance, FTX, how it's impacting the markets? You think we've covered pretty much everything?
We did a good job.
Yeah, I think we got a point across.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll be paying attention to everything going on. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Dan Locke. Down there, we got Kshan NFT. I'm JWeb777. We'll be tweeting out updates throughout the day and the week. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back for a live show on Friday to recap the week in the NFT markets. So for Dan, Kevin, and the rest of the team at FLOLiO, I'm Jeremy. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.